Hello, welcome back. Today's focus I wanted to continue on back relief and this time focus on the whole chain of connected tissue and muscles that consist of um, what's causing some of that tension. Basically, starting from the lumbar, working into the lats and into the upper back and your core. With that said, let's get started. Come to your seated position and let's begin with a spinal rotation. This is from Kundalini Yoga, and what we're trying to do here is awaken the spine, get some of the juices rolling to the muscles that we're going to be working on to relax. Again, as always, I want to mention that this routine is something that I do for myself, but if you have any pre-existing conditions or injuries, please consult a doctor before you get into this. Again, you want to continue your spinal rotations, alternate each side, and be mindful of your breath. When you feel about ready, come to your neutral position. Inhale your hands up. Want to make sure that you keep that spine straight. Inhale your hands up, forward fold. Don't want to bend too much in this position. Just take a deep breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink in a little deeper. Notice how I'm arching my back. Just trying to continue that spinal flexion. Plant your left hand and reach out as far as you can. Reach up with your right hand. Gently grab your ear. And then allow gravity to just kind of pull down. You don't want to put too much pressure in this direction, but you just want to get enough tension so that way you're getting a good stretch. You can reach back with your left hand, and now what you want to do is place your hand in the back of your head and rest in the opposite direction, so kind of at an angle straight. Don't pull down again. You want to just rest gravity-wise. And then rotate to do it to the center. Allow your head to relax. Come back to center. Let's do the other side. Again, just breathing and allowing gravity to take place. Rest your head forward, getting that nice stretch in the neck there. This is good for those of you that are in front of a computer all day. Put your hands down, work in some shoulder rolls or shoulder shrugs. Posturally, we put our bodies through a lot, so this is good to kind of be aware of the mechanics of what we do daily that we take for granted. Bring your feet together in a diamond format and try to get them as close to your pelvis as possible. Now, it doesn't matter if your knees come up or where they kind of land, but the idea is to try to land them as close to the ground as possible. You want to be able to kind of touch the ground in front of you. And again, what we're trying to do is get into the mechanics of things that we don't take for granted. So if you reach forward like I am right here to one direction and kind of rock, you'll notice that you'll feel that tension in your glute. You want to kind of drive the opposite leg down. So kind of reach and drive. You'll feel this tension around your glute and your hamstring. Want to hold for a few. Come up and let's do the other side. And it's almost, this is a motion that you do daily when you're trying to get off the floor. It's like trying to push yourself off the ground. And we do it so quickly that we don't really pay attention to what it is we're doing. But if you take the time to really get into this, you can kind of see what's going on. So let's alternate this movement from one side to the other. And really get into the habit of understanding how our muscles are working in this position. Kind of elevate your seat off the ground and rotate each side. Take a deep breath, inhale your hands up, exhale forward fold. Bring your knees together, shake your muscles out. Bring your feet together again. And this time we're going to actually try to get into the full motion of actually rotating up. See, you got to roll and then plant your foot and push to bring your knee forward. Again, you do it the other side, bring your knee forward. So in this position, if you were going in, getting into a tabletop position, you reach out, gently roll over, and plant your knees, and you're in tabletop. Now again, these are mechanics that we tend to ignore, don't pay attention, but these all affect the lower back, which are then using the muscles from our legs, our core, as well as our lats and the whole kinetic chain that's involved with our muscle structure. So you want to make sure that you're conscious when you're doing that twist and you're not doing anything abruptly, so that way you're not pulling any muscles or you're causing additional stress. Remember that our daily routines is what puts us in these predicaments. So think about when you're driving, we tend to slouch one way or the other, causing our muscles to compensate for that unbalance. And then what happens is one side will get tighter than the other, and then cause this pull on our lower back or our mid back, or as well as our neck. So when you think about when you're driving, being conscious of that posture is going to be important, so that way you can create some of that relief. Now think about when you're sitting in front of your computer as well. We tend to do that slouch, and we sometimes sit in these positions for hours. So what we want to do is keep conscious from our head to our neck to our lower back to our lumbar, and make sure how we're driving that pressure down. So come to your tabletop position. Plant your hands on the ground. And get into a cat-cow. Deep breath. So you want to push the ground away from you. You want to inhale up. Exhale, cat. Inhale up. Exhale, cat. You want to do this for about 6 to 8 times. Any more than that is a little bit excessive. And again, you want to just kind of awaken that spinal fluid, get your spine used to this movement, and actually relax some of those muscles that are keeping this spine contracted from moving. You also want to be conscious of the pelvic tilt, the anterior and posterior tilt. From here, you want to start rocking back and forth and transition into the next movement, where we're going to get up, bringing your head down. Again, these movements are exaggerated, but bring your head down, push up to your down dog. Again, as I mentioned, we're focusing on the mechanics of getting up off the ground, basically coming from our seated position, where we rock back and forth, transition into a tabletop, and then push back into our upward standing position. I know these are basic movements, but they help us identify where our pain and our discomfort is coming from. Slowly bring your hands up over your head. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. I want to start focusing on that spinal twist a little more. Release the rest of those muscles. So make sure that your legs are hip width distance apart. Inhale up, interlace your hands, push up, and you want to make sure that your head is through the window. Be conscious of where you're placing your hands. What I mean by through the window, just bringing your head between your hands, head and chest between the hands. And then you want to begin by rotating in one direction and then the other. And try to do this as slowly as possible. You want to extend, lengthen your spine, and you don't want to torque too much. Be conscious of your breath. Come down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rest a little in this position. Allow your hands to rest. Allow that stretch along your hamstrings and the back of your legs. Bend your legs if you need that added chest to thighs. You don't want to press or exhaust yourself too much in here. Just allow gravity to kind of take place and take a couple breaths. Just relax. Slowly peel yourself up. Extend your hands out. Mountain pose. And then what we want to do is make sure that we're contracting our core and really tightening our core to kind of compensate for the tension that we're having in our lower back. So this time we want to engage the core so we kind of create that strap feeling, hugging inside. So you're normally used to this feeling when you do a hollow hold where you're engaging your core. So stand up. Want to come into a tree pose, but you don't want to actually rest it on your leg. Want to just bring your leg up. It doesn't matter where you elevate it. Hold your balance here, and then kind of begin to open your hip and your leg. And this time, keep it dorsiflexed. So you don't want to use the torque of your whole body, but you want to actually ground your legs and just kind of open your leg in a hinge. So allow the femur to do the work, inside and outside. Be mindful of your breath each time you're doing this. Now what you're doing is you're giving that, extending that tension along your leg, and it's pulling the opposite direction of your core, as well as helping that lower back release some of that tension. So you want to do it to the opposite side. Dorsiflex your foot, inside, outside. It's kind of like you're opening a saloon door. Keep it solid, nice and straight, making sure that you're engaging those muscles. And breathing in there. Maintain that core. Keep your leg grounded. Shake your legs out. We're going to transition to a warrior 3. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And want to gently come off your right foot, lean over into your left, and slowly transition into your warrior 3, maintaining that focal point or your drishti. Extend your right leg and dorsiflex it. Take a couple breaths. You want to maybe extend your hands out, forward, or if you want to keep them center, that's fine. And then what we want to do is focus on this rotation, the internal rotation of your foot, and then an external rotation. Always slowly like pelvic tilting, and your femur is tilting back and forth. We're going to kind of maintain that rotation in and out. I know I'm exaggerating the movement, but if you extend, and you don't have to go in a full warrior 3, you can actually do it slightly as long as you're maintaining that posture. And you turn in, turn out. Again, try to keep your hips as grounded as possible. You are working on that muscle tilt. You can look for some assistance using the wall, whatever feels more comfortable, but eventually you want to transition into the full Warrior 3 where you don't have to use any assistance. So whatever you do with one leg, you have to do with the other. And you want to make sure that rotation is visible from both sides. So ground your legs. Inhale your hands up. Hands to heart center. Slowly into your Warrior 3. Turn in. Rotate out. Rotate in. Rotate out. You want to do this about 3 times each side. Also make sure that you're balancing yourself out. Kick your legs out. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Plant your hands. Come to a plank position all the way down to your up dog. Exhale, come down, back to child's pose, then up to down dog. Kick your right leg up, transition into a low lunge, plant your left knee on the ground, and we're going to work on our psoas stretch. This is a difficult muscle to stretch because it actually is internal. The way it moves is from the inside of our pelvis, and it ties into the lumbar. So you want to make sure that your front leg is at a 90-degree angle and that you are actually extended, pushing down into the ground, and understand that you're trying to work on that lower back. Now we want to continue into getting this nice psoas stretch here. So the knee that's touching the ground, you want that same hand to actually come up and over your head. You're going to start feeling this stretch from the lower back that kind of comes up, creeps up on the inside. And you want to kind of twist in the opposite direction, or actually flex into the opposite direction. And if you flex back, you can start feeling that nice stretch. Let me adjust so that way you can see the movement of my body. And to actually get a little more deeper into the stretch, you want to grab the opposite hand and extend it downward. You can see that nice arch that I have going on there. Hold this position for a couple breaths. So be mindful, what we're trying to do here is stretch that psoas, which is considered a short muscle that's causing some of these pains. So it's part of the hip flexors, and what we do is we extend that motion so we can have it. So come to downward dog, your forward chaturanga, down to your belly. Inhale, up dog. Back to your child's pose. Then down dog. Bring your left leg up. And now transition into your low lunge. And let's do the psoas stretch or hip flexor. Continue this from on this side. And see, position the foot flat on the ground. Extend your hand out, the opposite hand out, and then the hand with the knee that's on the ground, you bring that up. Lean back and feel the stretch. Again, hold for a couple of seconds here, a couple of breaths. And again, those short muscles are what causes some of the pains that we experience in our back. So what we're trying to do is just transfer some of these tensions that we experience. Plant your hands, come off your knee into a forward fold. Allow your body to drape over your legs. Slowly come up halfway. Forward fold. Then inhale your hands up. Bring your hands to your side. Again, at your top of your mat, you want to spread your legs wide. Kind of a straddle position. Inhale your hands up. Star position. Slowly transition your weight down to the left. And extend, roll your body, and extend your left hand to the air. Gaze over your left shoulder. Let's do that to the other side. Come to the center. Reach back before you go to the other side. Come up halfway. Let's reach to the other side. Maybe grab your ankle and twist up. And so you can see the front side of what I'm doing. You want to get that nice torque into your spine. Again, you don't want to pull too hard that it hurts. Just want enough to give you that sensation. Reach back. Slowly creep your legs in. Come to a forward squat. Grip your thumb in front of you. Doesn't matter which thumb you do. Just kind of transition into a squat and slowly come up. And just keep them extended. Slowly come down. Maybe do 2 or 3 squats here. Each time breathing. One last squat. Pat your hands down on the ground. Come to your knees. And transition into a seated position. Inhale your hands up. Exhale down. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Namaste.